Welcome to the Heavyweight Podcast.
The message behind saying the title of the Heavyweight Podcast is to be able to say that we can weigh in on some heavy shit. You know, what we're talking about is important from every aspect of it. It's a heavy weight. It's not just about physical weight, but the weight of things that can weigh our minds. So I think it's dope that we can have this conversation.
What's good? This is episode 160 of the Heavyweight Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I am your antisocial host, Stutter McFly. This is a very different approach to this episode.
Come on now.
Des had to take off. Mo's not here. He's still under the weather. But we still have our special guest.
Come on now, we rocking.
Sonny Babble.
What it do, y'all?
So we're going to do this differently. And then we have, what's your name, sir, today?
I was trying to think of something. I could only come up with like Hannibal. I don't know. Hannibal.
Hannibal, I don't know. So we'll go with that.
Hannibal Gapter.
Hannibal Gapter. So this is going to be like, we're just going to wing it. We're going to talk art. We're going to talk music. We're going to talk shit. Because it's fun. Like, let's get back to the essence of it.
Let's do it. Let's get to it.
All right. So I could ask how our weeks were, but we're just going to talk about art. Fuck it. So, Kevin, what do you want to know about art in the standpoint of what you want to do with your craft?
With my craft, I want to get more well-rounded, I guess, but I want to be in attack mode.
That's right.
So I got to find that aspect of me.
Attack mode as far as the business standpoint, or just like the actual grind, like being on stage attack mode?
Being on stage, but when I'm on stage, the attack, not just getting up there. Because last time I went, I was just going through the motions.
It felt like it just like, I'm up there.
Oh yeah, I knew it for sure. I was just like, I'm just this is funny, and I'm like, yeah, but this is lazy. Like I can't do this
funny,
shit.
but fuck. I'm just feeling drained at that point. You're like, fuck, yeah, I feel drained.
I fuck with that.
So that's what I want, is to attack, learn the business, because I'd never learned the business. I learned to be funny, but never learned the business.
The back end stuff last.
That's I want to keep doing open mics and shit. It's like, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm a second that. Stop the open mics, bro. Get yourself a nice little show, some nice lights.
Well, I mean, I'll still do the open mics. That's the dojo. I always think
kind of like where you're, because I'm not too familiar with the comedian scene, but don't you guys like to test material at open mics, right? And
a lot of people, I don't think, treat it like the dojo. Like that's what I learned at one point, where I'm like, dog, you just practicing shit. Like some people want to have it perfected or do certain things. Like, I got to try a new joke this time. It's like, you don't have to. You can do the same joke 4 weeks in a row until you're like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I got to use that shit and like, but I don't need to be an open mic fucking king. Like,
yeah. How many, if you don't mind me asking, bro, how many years have you already done open mic for?
I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck I stood in the stature of any of the scenes
like,
I was in. I was just like, I'm like, they think I'm funny. I'm like, I'm doing some shows. Some of these are free. Some of these are fucking chicken wings. So
right, open bar, open tab, open
I would
tab.
have loved to gotten chicken wings.
I was about to say, so that's better than some nights. That's better than some nights we got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, some of those chicken wings, you're like, you should have just gave me 2 drink tickets.
Rub, just dry rub, just dry rub everything.
That was the thing I got the most was drink tickets. Stuff where you're like, oh man,
open
like
tabs. Yeah, open tabs.
And I'm over here I think the only drink that I would fuck with at that time was LA Waters, and they would the motherfuckers were strong.
Say that would have fucked you up going on stage like that.
Yeah, they'd go like, oh, great job here, and I'd be like, oh, thanks.
Now, does this sound conceited? Don't you feel like you're better than that? Where you're like, I'm better than some motherfucking drinks, homie.
Yeah.
You got free drinks on me for the rest of the night. You're like, fuck.
And the thing is, I remember, I remember your dad telling me once, because we were talking business about like people were for guest features, and he would be like, he's like, fuck it, know your worth. don't do shit for free. Like he just like, if they want you to do it, charge them. And I'm like, just charge them. Charge them.
Don't know what it is, but get some gas.
Charge them. Like he was like, set your price. Like give them a price, set your price. And I remember doing that, and I remember it made sense. But like when I look back, I was like, I should have just started coming in like, nigga, $100. Oh, you $100? You gonna do it for $100? Like,
oh fuck! You're like, oh shit.
Because you always do it for the homies. You're like, oh man, it's free, man, it's love. But then you like, I should for this motherfucker in particular, $100. Like,
yeah, for this motherfucker right here.
Yeah,
you need to break off some bread.
Yeah, but I remember that. But you just knowing your worth, and that's the big thing is knowing your worth.
Because you, I don't know exactly how long you've been at it, but you definitely can't keep with the what is it? The open open mics.
Yeah,
but I've been one of those who's in and out. So like, if you're in the craft all the way, you look at me, you're probably like, man, this motherfucker.
And like very, very hot and cold. He's like, this motherfucker crazy, but I see this fool every once in like 4 or 5 months every blue moon.
And like I'm sure people are like, man, if you just fucking did it, dummy,
you can go.
Yeah. So, as artists, what is like if you could say a complete timeline when you're done with this? What do you want to accomplish if you got the chance to pursue Sonny currently pursuing? What's the end game like when you get to the top? You're like, all right, this is what I want to have at least done by when this is all said and done.
Man, that's a crazy question. Honestly, I'm gonna be just so honest right now. I don't think there's ever gonna be a stopping me. Like, I think it's gonna always be forever. There's always like moral goals that I put in front of me. So like there's certain things I want to get done for the next project, and there's timelines that I put on myself. But in terms of overall stature, like I want to be with the greats, bro. I want to be with the J. Coles and the Kendrick Lamars and the Kanye Wests, and I want to, I need to stop saying I want and say I know that by the end of it, we're going to have a couple plaques, couple Grammys, like everything's going to be good, family's going to be good, and I'm going to be able to live my dream and provide for my family off of that. So I know that's my end game. I do well right now, comfortable, just still making a living off of it, but I want to be able to change, my family tree's life, and then change like generations after me. Generational wealth is also what I'm trying to.
Yeah, that's key.
After. Yeah.
What about you, Kevin?
I think I've thought about this, and I feel like I come to this where I'm like, if I do it the way it's supposed to be done, like I want to be, at the end of the day, any room I walk in, nobody's ever going to be like, oh, he's going to have a problem. They're like, that motherfucker's a problem. Like any room. Don't give a fuck who's there. My favorite comedian can be there. I want him to be like, hey, that motherfucker's a problem.
Hey, yeah.
But not in like a bad way, but like, hey.
Talented. Yeah, you're like every room you walk into, you want to bring value through your talent.
Yeah, it's just like a respect amongst all of these motherfuckers I look up to.
Yeah, that's crazy. What about you, bro? What are you looking at? I don't want to hear no PG answer either, bro. I don't want to hear no damn PG answer from you. If I get a damn PG answer, I swear to God.
Honestly, if I actually had an end game as far as or something, what I would like to accomplish with music is to be respected as a lyricist, but like to be able to say like I did a full length project with like that kind of gave people like an insight to who the fuck I was. And so like even when I'm gone, like they like listen to this project and you get the full thing of what he was trying to do as far as that, but like kind of like acknowledged by not even the masses.
Like create your Da Vinci.
I think we all probably feel this way, is that you want to contribute.
Yeah.
You want to contribute to the whole fucking thing.
You want your Mona Lisa. You want to create
just
your
want
Mona
that,
Lisa.
like this, you don't have to like, it's just, I would like that project to just exist like in full detail, like, oh man, that project, like.
That was one of them ones.
Yeah.
We put that on the wall and I can get an insight of his life, his journey, but it affected a mass amount of people because they relate to what you go through.
Yeah.
Like your Mona Lisa.
in the hip hop Getty.
Yeah, like your Twisted Dark Fantasy. Or,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because there's so many, like, if I had like a dream sequence of just creating something, it's just like I told Quincy, I would love to do a back and forth song where you and another artist go back and forth like Styles P and Jada.
You never done that?
Never done that
with anybody,
anyone,
and nobody was just like pen.
No. Quincy said he wanted to do. He was down to do it with Doc and me, like the 3-man weave type shit. But like, I've never done it. I would love to do one of those. I would love to do a live band thing where it's just the whole live band.
You perform in behind the band,
You ever
drums,
done like freestyles or anything like that?
With the band?
Yeah.
I have. I've done shows with a band before, and I love the feeling.
Yeah.
But it was all rockers, and I remember putting together the whole thing. I made the beat originally, but then like we had it was for MI when I was going to school at MI, so I had to get everyone in the room, singers, drummer, guitar, bass, and just have them all be on the same page and do 2 songs for my last project of the year before I graduated.
Man, that's you're pretty much the composer.
Yeah, and you just had to make sure. And then it's so hard to have all these people with different schedules on the same
on the same beat, same rhythm.
Same page, and just do that and rehearse that so many times, and then do it that night. And I remember when I watched the video, I don't know if it was adrenaline, but we were all doing shit at a faster pace than what the song was.
The BPM
but like it was
a little quicker.
But it worked. Like, but it just seemed like, hey, nigga, no one can bop with that. Like, because it was just all right, slow the fuck down. We're all on adrenaline right now. But I was rapping faster, and everybody was. I was like, "Fuck!" It worked, but But I love that feeling. I would love to do that again. But those would be dope. A live band, and like I said, creating something. But as a bigger question, like when I'm thinking about it, what producers would you love to work with? Like that ultimate producer. Like this is the one producer I would love to just
mega producer.
Yeah,
I'd probably say Timberland.
Me too.
Timberland is one of them ones.
Yeah.
Timberland, I would probably have 5. I could probably name out 5. You can name out 5?
I can name off probably 3.
3?
Yeah.
I would say 5, bro. So I'm gonna go Timberland. This is gonna be really crazy, but Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daft Punk is pretty crazy. Probably who's like a sneaky one that's behind? Oh, Hit Boy.
Hit Boy, yeah.
About to say Hit Boy.
Is he sneaky anymore?
He's not sneaky no more. Yeah, he's not sneaky. He's not sneaky. I'm thinking of somebody who's like a sneaky one that like gets his way in, but
what about what your takes on, like, I didn't know this until this shit with Drake, but I didn't know how much shit that I actually liked from Metro Boomin.
Oh yeah, Metro's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of them guys.
I'm like, sneaky. Damn, he made this.
He's sneaky. He's sneaky good.
Yeah.
I would say crazy. I would say Mike Dean. I don't know if you're into synths, like guitars and synthesizers. Yeah. I'd say I'd like to do something with Mike Dean, and then I would say the last one. That's a little bit too much of a. He's not sneaky anymore, but I'd still like some production from Mustard, DJ Mustard.
I was thinking about Mustard.
Yeah,
Mustard might. Well, no, he was sneaky for a minute.
That's what I'm saying. Gone. He was like, and then it just turned into. Wop happened, and I'm like, man.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Mustard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mustard does still do his thing.
Yeah. Timbaland, Hit Boy. I'm gonna just throw this out randomly, just cause. No.
See what I'm saying? When you really start digging deep into the archive, you're like, ooh, there's a couple of them that are like,
You wouldn't work with crazy ass Kanye?
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't want him in the room with me. Like,
I would love to work with Kanye.
He's gonna have to be. Like, you're not gonna get him out of.
No, that's what I was about to say. He's probably gonna have his hands on in everything. Like, this is how you need to.
As long as he don't do you like Nas.
Yeah, I was about to say this is.
Yeah.
Kanye though is a crazy producer.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
Nah, it's stuck in my head. Thanks, Kevin.
Sticking with Mike Dean. Ooh.
The cop shot the kid. The cop. That shit.
That's what I'm saying. Crazy. Mike Dean crazy.
That cop shot the kid shit is now stuck in my head. Thanks.
Yeah, like
That shit annoyed the hell out. It was catchy, but it was not in the good way. Like it was like the cop shot the kid, the cop shot the guy sick. Oh my God. Like who the fuck does this for a fucking song?
I said he hates that.
yeah. I don't know what happened with that. That project was so hyped too, man. That shit was like, oh, two greats are coming together. It was like, oh Lord.
Poopity scoop.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Hit Boy, that little Nas renaissance, like I don't know if
Hit
that
Boy,
shit.
Hit Boy,
I was about to
yeah.
say, I don't know if that happens, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think that happens.
That was
Hearing Nas
great
talk
to
about
see.
the IE was
Yeah,
dope.
well, I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. But
Still on the clock, brother.
Yeah, I'm about to say you named off 3 right now that are still pretty dope. What'd you name off? Hit Boy.
Hit Boy.
Wait, was it all you named or about?
Yeah, it was Hit Boy, Timbaland,
Timberland. You said
Timberland. There it
Timberland.
is, Timberland.
You're doing a J.R. Smith right now.
Metro.
You do Metro?
I fuck with Metro, but it's
Wow.
the other shit that I didn't know he did that
I
made
was
me
about
be
to say,
like.
I'm really surprised you said Metro. Metro's a crazy trap guy too.
But I like this. It's not even the trap shit I like. It's the other shit I didn't know he made. I was like, he did that. He's responsible for this. I didn't know he was responsible for this. So I was like, if he tried that with me, I'll be down.
He's like, damn.
Shit. I'm trying to think of artists or producers that I've heard, and I'm like, man, like I rock with him, but like, cause he's even like when you look at it, like even Dre's sound, like you can't even say necessarily was Dre the shit that I like from Dre because it was producers under Dre that made the sounds that I like.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That in general, you're saying you pretty much will do like a West Coast.
Yeah.
like somebody from the West Coast. That's why I did Mustard because I was like,
yeah,
Mustard's in.
but I like it was, Kanye was
For real?
old Kanye. I fuck with Pharrell heavy.
Oh, Pharrell. I forgot about Pharrell. Fuck,
The
Pharrell's
Neptunes.
crazy.
I'm not sure how much Chad Hugo has in that, but like the Neptune sound for a while.
Crazy. What is that, 4?
That's 4. Yeah. The 5th one would be
He's digging deep in that archive right now.
because there's like producers that you don't realize are producers, and then you're like, wait a minute, that
that's a
motherfucker's
producer. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
producer.
I want to see. I would say it. Fuck it, because there's a lot, but there Eminem.
Oh yeah, that's a sneaky one I was talking
Yeah,
about. Like,
like-
who's the sneaky guy? Eminem is one of those ones too.
That's gonna be
Sneaky.
some dark shit though.
Yeah, I was about to say you
He's gonna
getting
come in like
you getting some shit. You definitely get some shit.
Yeah, and then the because when we talk about like,
Starting 5 with your 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, who's your man in? Your sub man in?
yeah, but when I look at like even with this shit with Kendrick and Drake, out of the whole beef, my favorite production was 616 in LA.
Oh yeah, that shit
But
is
that
crazy.
producer was a producer for Taylor Swift, and I was
but
like,
they all know music.
but I just thought it was but the way it played out, and like when you listen to it, a lot of MCs all felt the same. Like that beat in particular stood out more than everything
that
else.
vocal chop is crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
like-
that vocal chop is crazy.
I know this sounds weird, but like I feel like that's why this is nothing to do with rap, but Billie Eilish works.
Yeah,
Oh
her
my
brother
god,
and
her
her,
brother
like,
is fucking.
I'm like-
I just got put onto her, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe about a month or so ago, I just got put onto her, and yeah, she is I'm gonna say it, man. She got some crazy ass fucking melodies, bro. Those melodies, and she got some crazy pipes, bro. She can
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
sing. I'm like, whoa.
That's showing you like a relationship of how the producer and artist, like if
Yeah.
that shit meshes
Building it.
perfectly, you're like
Building it, yeah.
the moon.
So as a comedian, who would I guess
Yeah,
top
who's your top 5?
4 or 5 writers that you would like to work with, or
Writers,
comedians?
they're dead. Patrice O'Neal
Dead.
was one of them. Like I loved Patrice. Blah, blah, blah. Am I just talking about would want to work with?
Work with,
I don't know.
or
That
Let's
works.
say like you're, because obviously there's writers, right? But then you have to go and perform it. So I would say, who are your top 5 you would open up for? Like, these are like the people who put on like your dream, your dream scenario, your dream show, sounds like the show. They're like, hey, we want you to come out and open up for, boom. Who would be the one?
Dave Chappelle.
Who are the 5 that are like these? If I get to,
David Chappelle.
Kevin fucking Wendell, but
He's like, fuck.
gonna do a 90-minute show. Ain't no openers, but
I fuck with it.
Yeah, Dave is different though. That's a different show. So I don't know. I'm actually not sure about that. I know that sounds weird, but I guess I don't know. That's a lot of exposure in your city, but you ain't touring with that motherfucker. He got his people.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna get in where I fit in.
So if I could get that 5 minute in front of Dave, that would be.
You
I'm
do
cool
Dave?
with
You do
that.
David for one of them?
I'll be the guest set and be like, hey, you ain't getting paid? Like, yes, I am.
Yeah, you will be
sir.
eventually. Yeah,
This is getting paid for exposure. I'm getting paid for exposure right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like to contrast shit too. So I don't think I'm a lot like Bill Burr, but I would love a crowd like that. Because they're going to be, and I want to handle that crowd if I can. So it's kind of like, I know that challenge to the way I do. Shit. I don't know, because I keep thinking Patrice, but he's gone. He's gone.
Huh?
I mean, and then for fucking, for that paper, it's Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Really? I you know what? I'm gonna just say it. I don't think Kevin Hart's that funny, man. He
I
had
mean,
one or two of them where I was like, man, he's funny, but then after that, I was kind of like,
I did that, but then I think I had to realize how big of a business he is.
yeah, I was gonna, because he's more of a movie star.
He's
Yeah,
like a
mogul.
Yeah,
Mogul,
So it's like
yeah.
at some point you're
Very
like,
true. Very true. You do
you
have to
gotta
have
toe
talent.
the line, homie.
Yeah, you do have talent. That is talent though in itself. Like to jump
Yeah.
into those two professions is talent.
I went to a Kevin Hart show once, and there was two things I noticed. I thought he was funny. He wasn't. There was somebody before him that was funnier, but I did think he was funny.
See what I'm saying?
But there was a thing that I couldn't get over was how short he was, and where the stool behind him and the height. Like you would,
Of the
it
stool.
fuck with you because
Yeah.
you're like, damn, like you're
that
short.
You're like, damn.
Like when you're looking at him, like that's a short dude, but like to have that to have that kind of presence in that a room that big,
in an arena.
yeah,
and
like
fucking-
just being able to
Watch this. What was that guy's name who opened for him?
Naeem, whatever Naeem.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
there
one
you
of the
go, there
Plastic
it
Cup
is.
boys.
Like Tim Allen, there's a story about him where somebody opened for him, went out there, cooked it. And he was like he's like, I'm open for Tim Allen, so I'm out there going to be funnier than him. And Tim Allen was like, hey, look, you killed it. I can see what you're doing, but he's like, no matter what, fool, like, they're here to see me.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah, that's facts.
No matter what, brother, these tickets are getting sold off my back. You know what I mean?
yeah, he wasn't like, it wasn't like a diss to him, but he's like just your position's here. Like,
Yeah,
But-
you need to know your play. Know your play.
But I did think the way he had it set up though, because it was the Plastic Cup boys that came on before him.
Yeah.
It was like you see why they're here and why they're part of his squad. Like
writing.
Yeah, but I say
Yeah.
some of them be writing. I heard. Yeah, a lot of them be writing.
Did he have a local artist?
there he didn't. It was just all Plastic Cup boys. He did. It was is it Cal State San Bernardino?
Oh wow, so it was local.
Yeah.
How do you?
Yeah.
You know, I want your opinion on this, bro. How do you feel about the whole Cat Williams situation, where he feels like you could take a lot of those comedians out? Do you think he's that?
Oh, I've been an advocate of Cat Williams' comedy for a while. Like,
Really?
He's if
So he
you
really
watch,
liked that.
watch his comedy, he does a lot of things. Because I had a friend, and I remember he just stayed at my house. I think we were fucking eating shrooms or something. And I was like, no, just watch this. And he's like, I fucking hate Cat Williams. I'm like, you don't have to like his comedy, but watch how he masters this stage. All right, you see this right here? This joke is going to set 3 jokes up later. And you're like, you'll watch him be on the stage and move a stool over here. And you're like, why the fuck you do that? 5 jokes later. You're like, holy shit.
There it is.
Facial actions, all that shit. And you're just like, you don't have to like what his comedy, but if you watch how he's crafting this shit, it's like, you got to shut the fuck up. You have
Yeah.
to shut the fuck up.
Very true. I like Cat. I just didn't know. I'm familiar with the comedian scene, but I'm not too familiar with it, right? So when he
Yeah.
went viral and did his thing, I was sort of like,
He does some
damn.
nutso shit, but it's like, if you get,
Is he like that?
you
Is
get
it-
down
yeah.
to brass tacks, he's going to smoke your boots.
Really? He's like, so
you
he
better
can,
lace him up.
dang, so he can hang with the best of them. He can.
I think so.
Oh wow, okay. I didn't know. I was like, you know what? I'm unfamiliar.
You
But
saw
when he was
Steve
saying
Harvey
it,
didn't want no smoke. He was
nothing.
king.
nothing. I always thought though that king shit, like,
Marketing. It's marketing.
yeah, I'm like, it's a great marketing tool. Like it really is. I always thought Bernie Mac was funny, even when leading up to before his like passing.
Yeah,
he was hilarious, man. And I remember watching his show. His show was
that was a good one.
Oh my god, man, his show was fucking
Bernie
great.
Mac show.
Man, why can't I think of homie with the big eyes who Bebe's kids? Damn,
Robin Harris.
I'm thinking Kings of Comedy with like him, Bernie Mac, Patrice O'Neal, like shit like that. Just them three alone.
Yeah.
You might piss yourself.
You're like, damn, bro.
It's a lot of shit talking in one room.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like when it comes to people and their talents and their gifts, I very rarely sometimes see people who were really, really born to like achieve this. You were put on this planet for this particular thing. I rarely see it. I see it sometimes in athletes. Like I seen a couple athletes in high school that when I seen them play, I was like, dude, this guy was put on earth to ball. I don't know. Have you guys ever ran into comedians or you guys ever ran into athletes where you're like, this guy here is just out of this world?
Are we talking about like that are famous or just
famous? Like you've seen his journey. Like you're able to see this guy's journey. You seen it get to a certain level and you're like, I knew it was going to fucking get there.
There's people I don't like that I've seen.
Really?
I'm just like, I don't even like this motherfucker.
But you just can't.
Like, he's a bitch. And like, I'm just watching it. I'm like, the way he moves, he's going to make it. Like, no matter how much I dislike this motherfucker, I'm like, the way he's doing stuff, he's going to hit this shit. And I'm not going to say his name, but he's hit a good spot.
Yeah. That's wild. Have you ever seen anybody, athletes? It could be athletes in your profession, podcasters, musicians.
I mean, like from a distance, I can say I remember when Joe Budden first started doing podcasting, and I remember thinking, he's trajected to. You could just tell because he was kind of doing something nobody else was doing, and it was the way it was at that time. He was kind of getting under people's skin. It was like this nigga. He
about to be something.
And like now, sure enough, like he's at where he's at. But like I remember when he first got into it, and like I remember a lot of the controversy. Are like, this rapper's talking about it. It's like, but it's kind of an interesting dynamic to be in, because he's an artist talking about other artists. So it's a
different perspective from rather like speaking from something that they don't know about. Because Joe had experience, so a lot of artists are like, damn, well, he was also in the game, so he knows when he's talking about 70-30 deals and fucking, he really knows.
And even locally, like, I mean, shit, you can attest to this too. Like watching how Curtis moved.
Yeah, Curtis was crazy.
Curtis was different than everybody else. When you come across Curtis, it was like, yeah, you different, bro. Like you don't think like they think.
Yeah,
so like he's already thinking about this, and this. So when you see his success now, it's like it's not that shocking because his brain was
worked at a different. Yeah, he did work he worked at an extremely different rate, and he was a lot different than a lot of people coming in his time.
Do you feel like that about yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I see it in you.
Then he said, thank you,
yes,
thank you. Oh yeah, I feel like, honestly, I feel like everybody should feel this way.
Yeah.
If you line me up with who they deem the best in the Inland Empire or in the city, I feel like I'm gonna take your head off. Like and that's and that I think that I gained that through being with like spitters, but I feel like you should feel like that about about what you do, and you should feel like that about
I know you can bar out.
No, I have an interesting story about somebody who right now is claiming like to be the king of the IE, which is super dope guy, super humble guy.
Yeah. And
I told him, I go, because he was getting a lot of heat, a lot of things were happening in the scene, like the real scene. People were kind of coming after him, and I told him, I go, I told some of his people, I go, I respect you saying that about yourself. Like, I think it takes an extreme amount of confidence to be like, I'm gonna put this on record. I'm the best, and you guys can't fuck with me. And in return, I think it gets you further, and it puts you in positions like, oh, okay, like you might not like the guy who is, that's crazy, but he probably was like, I'm one crazy motherfucker, and in that sense, it's kind of probably turned you off to him. Like, fuck it, I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
No, he wasn't. He's just a bitch. Like he came and said some shit to me off stage on something I said, and I was like, what the fuck did you say to me? I was like, oh, you're a bitch. Like, how could you say that to me? Like, you're a comedian. Like, you can't say that to me. Well, it offended me. And I was like, I didn't even say anything offensive.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking
Some
about?
people are just dicks too, bro.
Yeah.
People are just assholes, bro.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Did you ever run into anything like that, bro? I mean, I know you're still in the music scene, but did you run into people like...
As far as being offended? Or
some shit where you're like...
where I've seen some shit and just was like...
You know, you're just like, the eyes go like, whoa, that was a little...
I've seen wild shit in passing, but like... Some of it's warranted, other shit I'm just like, this nigga's off, but I don't want to like... pinpoint them because it was a lot of times. But like what I'll say is that you can see why certain people are in positions they are, and other times you scratch your head, so how the fuck you get here?
Yeah.
And then sometimes it comes out later on, they're like, oh,
that makes sense.
got it, because you know somebody that
you knew
helped
this
you.
person who knew that person who got it in.
Sometimes you scratch your head and be like, how the fuck? Like, and then like you like even their business take on things is like, you're not professional, this is that, like,
yeah, I've ran
how
into
the
that.
fuck, like,
bro, oh my god, I ran into a couple of artists out here who are like supposed to be, you know, I would deem them as
them ones,
one of them ones, and I've heard real bad like stories just about they don't really know how to run business, and I'm like, wow, that's a huge, it's a super underrated aspect in your career, but knowing how to move businessly is like...
Well, that takes you to the next level because somebody who has money ain't gonna fuck with you.
Yeah, you're just like,
hey,
dude,
you gonna fuck our money up. I'm not, nope.
Yeah, I'm cool off of this shit.
It's, like I said, it's a head scratcher. Then there's times like when you're asking you'll get it. Like you see them and you're like, so when you see the success come, you're like, yeah, it makes sense. If that person makes it, I'm not really mad at that because it makes sense.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, sometimes you're like, this nigga here, like how? Like how?
Hell.
You'll see how they move, how they treat people, and you're like, how the fuck did you still find success?
How the fuck did it happen for you?
And then you'll find out later, oh, it was because of a connection or some sort of person that put them on. Like you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like, good for them, but at the end of the day, they ain't gonna be in none of those conversations.
Yeah, top 5s, like, top 10s of all time. You're just like, fuck, here today, gone tomorrow.
You're like, hey, he's a nice guy.
Yeah. He's like, nah.
Then you get the people like, when we like in this council culture now, when you got like the ditties and shit, when you're like,
that's crazy.
Motherfucker come up, and it wasn't really a shock to me. And I think a lot of people, if they watch how Diddy move, you're like, it's not a shock that this guy is accused of what he's been accused for.
Yeah, we always heard rumblings, you know, like, this motherfucker's kind of crazy.
So when they get canceled, it's kind of like of their own doing. It's like, yeah, well, you've been an asshole and been called an asshole a long time. So it's like, hey, you falling off is not really... No one's...
That was kind of inevitable.
Yeah, like it was eventually someone was going to be like, hey, bro, like you went as far as you go with this shit.
This is it. God's wrath is coming, brother. Yeah. You're like, God's wrath is coming, man. And that whole Diddy situation, bro, that shit was just fucking wild.
Yeah. What
happens? Like, what are they going to charge him with anything? Or is it
I think he has to be charged.
Or is this just going to be one of those things where you're like, hey, this
they can't charge him for the assault.
Weird ass back.
They can't charge him because what? He paid the hotel?
Yeah, it was supposedly like they had already, so he couldn't get a charge with the assault, but it's canceled.
If they don't charge him, I feel like this might be my conspiracy brain. There's something different behind that. Because you don't just leverage the FBI to just raid someone's house.
But if I'm correct,
like he fucked up
those raids,
person.
Yeah, those raids usually happen on a guarantee of fine. Like those raids just don't happen for publicity. Those raids happen for on the guarantee of like
we know we got
you, my brother. Yeah. We're just giving you a 6-month courtesy of get your shit together.
Yeah, when they come after you, they know they're gonna win. It's not we're maybe gonna.
No, he pissed somebody off.
All right, check this out. Who are they? They, as in, are we all on the same page about there, or do we got?
What's the thing? My thing is like companies like UMG and
big boy, right? Like the big, like the conspiracies you hear about, like the you know.
Stepped on our toes too much. We gotta get you the fuck out.
No,
of
he
here.
probably tried to put his dick on the table, like I'm Diddy, and they went.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the same conspiracy going on supposedly about Drake. Like they claim Drake supposedly overstayed his it got too big for his britches and say, oh, we're gonna learn. You're gonna learn who's in power. Like,
yeah, don't worry about it.
You know what? You don't feel like some of the So I like this. First of all, I love this song. Not Like Us. I'm not gonna lie. The song is crazy.
I fuck.
And the beef, actually, I loved it for hip hop. I was like, damn, this is pretty much everybody who likes hip hop wins, right? But you don't think that there's I don't think. I'm gonna come out and say it, bro. I don't think he touches little kids. I think that's a cap.
I think it was an
It might be exaggerated.
Yeah, like I feel like the issue with Drake, which didn't help his cause, was you got too many questionable situations where it's a 17-year-old teetering on
I didn't
this,
know that.
like
There
that
might
shit.
be-
Like,
I don't think Kendrick Lamar says shit for fun. And he keeps telling you, hey, man, there's more shit. So there might be like some text message shit.
See what I'm
Somebody sent
saying?
him or
Like,
something.
I
where you're
don't know.
I don't mean he like. It don't mean he did
Because
nothing.
making
but
that
it's like,
statement is a wild statement to make about somebody.
I mean,
That's
it's
very
still
true.
weird.
But why are you having conversation with 15-year-old?
yeah,
Fuck
like
you.
Millie Bobby
Yeah,
Brown,
yeah.
the whole Millie Bobby Brown shit, and her like doing the interview where she was like, "Oh, we're besties," and we were just
that
talking
was kinda
about
weird. I'm not gonna
boys,
lie.
and it was like.
I honestly.
But do you think he went to the step further? Like,
No,
that's what I'm like.
I
ooh.
think there's some growing possibly.
there is
Yes,
some.
there
Oh, you know
is.
what? Yeah, that might be true.
Like he was like, I'm preparing for you when you turn 18 type shit. Like,
Which is gross, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did some shit with Universal Music Group, so he's over there and signed to them, and probably fucked over like Wayne, Birdman, all them somehow, and was like
Yeah, because
shitting
he
on
was
them.
smashing. He was smashing Wayne's
Yeah.
girl, bro. He fucking.
And then when Kendrick was talking about messing with Ant, like so he's fucking with Top Dog, and I'm like, he probably fucked with all these motherfuckers, and they went, all right,
And
get
It's
rid of this
time.
motherfucker.
Yeah, it's time. It's
and the
time.
thing is, like,
Like we made you fool.
Joe Budden pointed this out. I remember saying it when it happened. I said, "What shit are you doing that every single fucking issue that you have with all these people,
Yeah, he has a lot of problems.
and it's usually always stems from women interaction with women. You falling out with them because of a woman, or you beefing with somebody, and then you go in turn try to find a woman in their life, and it's like it's fucking weird that this is the common thread with Drake, and it's even interesting to watch when you
That is very
watch
true.
his involvement with other artists. Is eventually they aren't cool after a certain point. Like Drake works with certain artists, and then eventually they're not cool, and then he moves on to the next artist. Now it seems like the only artists that he does music with are like up and coming people, because he has burnt the bridges for the people that are established. So
Yeah.
now you got Sexy Red that he was co-signing really fucking hard for some reason, but it seems like you burnt so many bridges that you kind of have to stick with the Sexy Reds or whoever's next up, because you have too many times where artists have told you in interviews, this motherfucker stole this, he stole my flow, he stole a song, he stole a hook, he stole this, he did this, we're not cool no more. This ain't like, and the money's not adding up, and then eventually just seems to be a common theme with
There's
him.
a common denominator in all
Yeah.
these. If it's not women, it's the way like
Yeah.
he goes about his business, which is true, because I was really surprised when really all the diss records were crazy, but when Like That came out, I was really surprised that it was something that it was Future's song, and then I was like, dang, if that was your homie, like I'd be like, hey, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? You dissing my homie on this record, like. And so those type of things got to get cleared.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man. When I seen the falling out that he had with Future, that's kind of what raised my eyebrow, because I'm like, you guys have a whole collaboration album. There's like
You guys
history.
got history,
Yeah. It's not just fucking.
And then you have all these artists that jump. Hey man, yeah, I don't fuck with him either. What the fuck?
Everybody
Like,
kind of, was like, everyone was like, we're not.
it just
Even his mentor, like it's nuts.
yeah, Wayne. I was like, damn, Wayne ain't like shit.
That's what's interesting to me, because Schoolboy Q got crazy and mad that he got fucking banned from Toronto or whatever, and just start talking on Twitter. It's like, well, Lil Wayne, Top Dog, and Birdman were hanging out last night. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to say that, nigga.
Hey, brother, that's supposed to stay. That's supposed to stay industry right there, man. You're supposed to let that out, brother.
Then like the people jumping to the conclusions on the Corday record,
I'm on the conclusion.
the Teddy Graham,
Yeah.
you're a sacrificial lamb. I said,
Oh, really?
Well, I took it to even with him when I was just like, well, he said he met with Top Dog, and they're all bloods. So he's like, if it ain't a red flag, then it's a red flag. And I'm like,
Yeah, it all seems kind
This is
of.
odd.
Really? That was on the I haven't
chord-
peeped it, but the chord I've been hearing
Yeah.
about it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. He
it's a
says
nice
you're a
record.
sacrificial lamb. He says the Teddy
doing
something.
business,
You were
brother.
Teddy Graham. I said you.
Whoa.
I said the
And
use
that's
Teddy
gonna
Graham.
be crazy if Wayne
Yeah.
They have
Whoa.
they have the video of him saying "not like us" on stage.
My bad.
Like,
I might have to retract my statements, man, about him not touching
That would be
minors.
great. To me, this would
Yeah,
be crazy.
because that's kind of
if-
wild.
If they see a Lil Wayne do They Not Like Us on that song, don't he have the rights to that song? Wouldn't that be nuts if that was the remix? Doom, doom, doom.
If Wayne hops
They
in,
Not
I
Like
would
Us.
probably be like,
Oh,
yeah,
this is a
Drake.
problem.
Drake did some shit in the
did some
dark.
wild
Yeah, I'm
shit.
about to say Drake did some wild shit there.
I just
If Wayne hops in it, at that point, I can no longer be like, because even I think the first thing I told you guys when I came in, like Drake did release two really good summer songs. I was like, oh damn, these summer songs
and
are.
in turn, Joe Budden said that nigga got slapped into another genre. And
I
I
was
thought
like,
that was hilarious.
holy shit. And then,
MGK.
yeah, that MGK shit was wild too. That MGK shit was fucking wild, bro.
I was laughing hard as fuck at work when I heard that. That nigga slapped into another genre. I said, yeah, I mean, it's so weird to watch that Joe Budden Drake dynamic because he has so many backhand compliments for Drake. It's funny, but
That Camilla Cabello.
yeah,
Yeah, they were at it too. No, for a minute they were at it for what, like a year and a half. Yeah.
I just think
Who?
it's wild.
Joe and
Joe
Drake.
Budden
Oh,
and
I
Drake.
thought you were
yeah.
saying Camilla Cabello. And
Oh, no,
I was
no,
thinking
no.
they had beef.
No, fuck.
Yeah.
Would he fuck her mama?
It's possible.
I was about to say,
Probably.
I would have put it behind Drake.
It's very possible, but and the thing about I don't think Kendrick got enough credit for, and this was how different the song sounded
Oh, yeah.
throughout. So from Euphoria to 616 in LA to Meet the Grams to Not Like Us, like it's
The versatility.
the versatility in all the songs. Like he didn't get enough credit for it because then I've gotten. Well, when I wanted to see this beef happen, there was a few artists in the IE that came at me and was like, "Why do you want to see the beef so bad?" And I said, "Because it's good for hip hop."
Yeah, hip hop
Like,
wins.
what the
Hip hop wins.
fuck?
Hip hop wins at the
Oh,
very
you-
end of the day.
You want to
hope
see
so.
people tear each other down? No, I
Yeah,
just
no.
want to see what's good. Now, what ended up happening, I didn't predict. Couldn't
Yeah, I was gonna
predict
say
it.
that Not Like Us record just went.
But I wanted to see it for hip hop. I gave Drake way more credit than I should have when it actually
Yeah,
what ended up happening. But like
Because
I
he
thought,
was poking. He was poking the bear.
yeah,
like
and I
every
thought he was going to be
cadence.
more prepared. And then I felt like
No.
he underestimated his opponent. He thought that maybe he because I feel like he keeps his ear on what the podcasts like Joe Budden and Academics say, and then I think he really thought that Kendrick probably stays and doesn't record or make shit like maybe every 6 months to a year, and he really underestimated his opponent. So when fucking he back-to-backed him, he was like, "What the fuck? I thought this motherfucker didn't write like this. What are you guys telling me?"
Yeah,
Like,
it kind of hit him with a 1-2. He was like, "Fuck, this
then
is."
when he
low.
hit him with Meet the Grams, then right after the
That
next
night
day
was like, holy shit! That night for hip hop was like, because when he came out with what was the record? Drake came out with
the Family Matters.
Family Matters,
Yeah.
and that I was like, oh, this motherfucker went and did a music video. I'm like, that's kind of creative.
That was weird to me, though.
Really? I thought
I
it
was
was
like, we're in the
creative.
middle of a beef, and you stopped
To make a video.
and went and made a motherfucking video. That's MGK shit. He made a video in the middle of it and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? Just get
that
in the
night
booth
though was
and let
just
it happen.
crazy. Because
I
then
didn't like it.
you didn't like that one. I'm gonna say the third beat on that one was crazy.
The song was fine.
I'm about to say the
talking about
third
that
beat.
video. Maybe
Oh,
I was
the
like,
video.
what the fuck? Like, because even when I saw it, I was like, oh, he got the Good Kid, Mad City van. I was like, but that's clearly not the Good Kid,
It's
Mad
yeah,
City
it's just the
But if-
van that looks just
even
like
if it was, what does it matter in this?
Kind of weird. He's rich.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, Kendrick's
is
gonna
kind
go,
of
oh
a
my
flex. That
god,
is kind of a
what do I
flex.
do? What you took my family
man.
van? I'm gonna give a fuck about
We
that
thought
van.
they
Like,
impounded that.
yeah, like.
We're like, that shit has been gone, brother. That thing is
So
gone.
like when I saw it, I get the whole message behind like we crushed it. It's like, but it means that you spent however much just to crush something that has no
Yeah.
meaning at this point. So it was more of a show of theatrics than it was to me. I want to see you fucking bar out. Like the thing about Drake that I always gave him credit for, I believed you can bar out. So when that didn't happen, it pissed me off. Because I feel like even in that Family Matters song, the only song he barred out on, it was that second beat. He barred out
the drill one.
Yeah, where he was going at everybody else instead of the motherfucker he should have been focused on. Instead of the guy he should have been
going at. Yeah,
he barred out on that. He ate everybody else up and then switched back to.
Is that when he was singing? Kind of when he
No, that was the third one. I thought the beat for the third one.
Up in his mouth.
Yeah, that beat's dope.
That third beat is crazy, guys. I'm not gonna lie. That third beat is crazy, but he just kind of. It was a little bit. I was
like, you gotta, and then he didn't actually bar. He didn't actually give Kendrick any bars till the Heart Part 6, and at that point, it was just him defending himself of not being a PDF file. Since he can't say the other.
Is that a thing? Because I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm trying to get back into comedy, so I got to know what I can and can't.
Yeah, supposedly you're supposed to say PDF file because you can't say the other one.
Really?
But these are words.
I get it. I didn't make the rules.
He's like, hey, brother,
rules.
I'm just a messenger. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, I just know.
I don't like it.
That pissed me off because I was like, oh, now we're getting bars from Drake. But now it's a defensive Drake, not on the offensive Drake. Now I'm getting defensive Drake talking about, I ain't no PDF file.
Too rich.
I only talked to Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Brown's. No one said Millie Bobby Brown, brother. You did.
Nobody said Millie Bobby Brown. You did, brother.
You misconstrued whatever was said on Mother May I, and now you're saying now you're making fun of him possibly being molested, even though that wasn't the case. You still it made you look bad. It made you look like that typical bully from a after school special. And
he just didn't approach it right. His chess moves were a little crazy.
I got an off the cuff question. How do you think Jay-Z talks to Maul now?
I don't think it fucking happens.
He probably was like,
he's like, hey man, why you screaming so hard? Like, what the fuck?
I think they avoid that question altogether. I think it's one of them things where it's like, you thought Drake won, right? Okay. Anyway, so B, I was telling Maul, man, the barbecue, like, like I don't see that going anywhere where it's like, but Jay, man, you thought Drake like killed him, right? And he's like, all right. Oh, so anyway, Maul, like I was saying, man, like he's like, damn, nigga, like you just not gonna answer the question, like.
So we kind of knew. So you're saying you kind of knew already going in that Drake was it was toast.
No, I felt Drake should have came with bars that I knew he was capable of, and the problem was I don't know if he just took it as light work, underestimate. But if the Drake showed up that I know Drake could be, this would be a whole different kind of. But the fact is, I felt like he looked at Kendrick like, you ain't on my level, and then he did push-ups. Or it could be a different take. He could have just been intimidated from get-go and didn't try to come to bar. Like, but to me, he didn't bar out.
This is why I'm so fucking upset at J. Cole.
Yeah.
Because I truly feel in my heart that Cole is probably the only guy when Cole is at max,
I agree.
I think Cole's the only guy that's like,
but
Cole's the only guy that's like, yo, I could dodge and weave a couple of these. I can get a couple rounds in.
Not the mudslinging. Like they knew it was coming. It's like I'm calling him a PDF file.
Yeah. If you want to be tied to it, but that's what gets me so upset about this situation.
The hardest bar for me from J. Cole and that entire 7-minute drill shit was that I'm powered up for real. This shit would feel like squatting a fly. That was the one line that he said that I believe that he wholeheartedly believed. Like it was the only thing that where he had confidence on it. Like he was like, I'm charged up for real. This shit would feel like swatting. That was the one line.
This is what gets me so upset.
He means it.
He did until he saw this happen. He went,
but what I was like, but the statement behind it literally felt like, hey man, if I really wanted to, I could.
Hey bro, I'm not there yet. Like I'll take it there. I'll really go there.
Yeah, well, that's what gets me upset about it. Just know, like that's what I took. Just know, if I wanted to, like that's what I took from that. So when I heard that I was like, okay, if you come with
this,
they
might actually be friends though.
I think they are. So I feel like we should get that album they've been promising for the past 50
years. For the past 30 years? You know about the album they've been promising the past 30 fucking years?
Or a 10-minute song where they just bar out back and forth. I would be so excited.
I'd be crazy. Because they switched songs.
It was Black Friday, yeah.
Where they switched, or Kendrick hopped on a Cole beat and Cole
on what's funny is I posted something on Facebook, like, I think we're getting Black Friday. And then all the beef started. And I was like, Never mind. Scratch that statement.
See, this is where this is interesting for me. when I listen to Black Friday, I feel like J. Cole did what Drake did in this battle. When he did that Kendrick beat, he started singing on that shit. And I said, I want to hear bars. I don't want to hear, like, Kendrick literally got on that tells the two shit he's sitting just fucking blacked out.
Maybe he's the boogeyman. Maybe people like to get there like,
he fucking
I don't know
blacked
what's
out.
going on.
I was about to say, maybe he hops up in the studio and it's like fucking just blanks. Like,
say Drake.
fuck.
Because I have to imagine
shit.
he heard that verse and then J. Cole was like, fuck. Because he was like, I said, oh, fuck. Like, and then he ended it like that. Then here comes J. Cole. I said, oh, shit. Like, come on, man. We trying to hear bars, bro. Like,
what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
So when I heard it, I was like, fuck. I said, it might be the Kendrick effect. Like, man, I ain't trying to bar with this motherfucker. Like, it. And that.
I hope not. I hope they get back together and make some music. That would be fun.
That would be pretty fucking dope.
I was at work and I was playing a J-Rock Essentials playlist on my iTunes, and there was a lot of songs that I didn't realize where I favor J-Rock and Kendrick when they collaborate.
Yeah, they because J-Rock was the 1st one on TDE that was on. Yeah, J-Rock was the one that everybody was like, this
when
guy's
you realize how many his early works where Kendrick was involved, where he sung a hook or did something you didn't even know it was Kendrick. Like,
you're like,
that's
fuck,
Kendrick.
Here we go.
So when I listen to that shit and like that verse, that voice that Kendrick gets into, it feels like J-Rock's the one that brings out the most. That it sounds like he gets some bass in his voice,
like
and he goes, and he's like, "Woo!" Like, I like this Kendrick, like that.
You know what's dope is you have those clips of him. That's the difference in this whole thing. Where it's like, I took the long route.
Yeah,
like
he did.
I
he
paid
did
my
take the long
dues.
route. He did take
the ciphers, the freestyles where you see him in the street
Drake,
before.
Where are your freestyles?
Yeah,
like we ain't got none of those.
Yeah. So, and I saw a YouTube video, or it was a poll. So, what's your takes on freestyling as far as an artist? Do you feel like, because I feel like freestyle is
yeah,
because I consider freestyle literally it could be written or off the top, but I feel like off the top is more of a just more of it showing your skill basis of saying I could come off the top and do this, but I can still consider a freestyle a written because maybe it's the style in which you do it. Maybe there's no purpose in it. Maybe there's just all punchlines. Maybe it's just enjoyable as opposed to, because I feel like sometimes the viewing public will view a freestyle and be like, it has to be off the top. I was like, 95% of the rappers that you see freestyle ain't freestyling if that's what you think freestyle is. And then
it's it's tough because then you get the channels who label it like freestyle, like even the geniuses, they'll label it like mic drop freestyle.
Yeah.
So people are thinking, oh dang, this is all off the top.
Yeah.
I was always taught freestyling is off the top, like off the top of the dome. But I think that music changes and time changes. So maybe something like that was popping when we were, you know what I mean? Like, yo.
And it's impressive when an artist can off the top.
It's a lost off art form, bro.
But like when you really think about what it entails that people expect from a freestyle, they're going to be surely disappointed if a lot of the artists they did freestyle off the top of the head. Because I'm like, oh man, that punchline, that was, like I've been in ciphers where I was freestyling and the other motherfucker had a bunch of punchlines set up ready to go.
You're like, fuck.
No matter what beat was coming on, he had it in his head like, oh, I'm about to just come with this. And you're like, oh my God. And they're like, oh my God, they both, no.
I used to hate that
freestyled
shit.
off the top. That
nigga
did it written. Like.
I used to hate that shit. You just in the shit and you just like rapping and somebody comes in and then their homies in the back like, and then repeating the word before they get to it. And I'm like, get this motherfucker out the circle.
Get this motherfucker out the cipher, bro. What the fuck?
The expectations for it are based on two different things. So like a person like freestyle, it's got to be off the top. But then they're like,
I do agree.
If you actually heard what was off the top, you would feel differently about what you think a freestyle entails.
DMX, I remember watching doing that with Jay-Z, where he put a couple of songs together to make a freestyle. Well, I'm like, I guess that's still creative because you're taking different songs.
Different sections of a song,
Like, all right, I'll give you that. And I'm not going to tell DMX, like, hey, that ain't...
that shit ain't dope. He going to bark at you a couple of times. It's over.
And then you have, like I said, the lost art of freestyle off the top where there's dudes that can do it. Like a Lupe Fiasco can freestyle off the top and rap for hours.
Yeah.
But like...
Yeah, but Lupe kind of crazy.
I think he just does that period.
Yeah,
I was about to
it's
say
something-
it just fits his character.
When I used to do it a lot, it was because I was practicing all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it's like kind of like
I'm mad you
Going
put
to
that
the
video
gym.
out of me freestyling. Like, why you post that?
Motherfucker. He's like,
But
damn,
it's
bro.
the thing is like when you do it all the time, it comes out effortless because you're doing it so much. Your brain's
You have
always
so
active.
much practice.
Like,
You're like, I can train myself to
Oh,
know
yeah.
these words. Like,
but when you haven't done it,
Oh,
yeah, no, I'm not big on freestyling, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I'm more of a writer. I'm way more of a writer.
Yeah.
Way more of a writer. But I think the best person I've ever seen freestyle was Blind Fury.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Blind Fury might be one of the best. Where I'm like, oh my god.
can I say it?
Just go on TikTok. What's
Can I
up?
say it? I mean, he doesn't. I think at this point he doesn't have a choice
This motherfucker.
because he's black. Oh,
Yeah.
don't cancel me.
Hey, man.
Hey, brother.
I mean, kind of like
I'm just a
he has to
messenger, you know?
He has to memorize it all. I mean, or is he reading this shit in braille?
Yeah, he does kind of have to freestyle.
Yeah, everything has to be a. I just think it's crazy when you hear his how spot on his impersonations are.
Bro.
When you hear it, it's like I'm about to act like Chris Brown. You're like, this nigga just sounds exactly like Chris Brown. Or he goes into the Jadakiss or whatever. You're like, this motherfucker could like do this very well.
He's probably the best freestyler I've ever seen, personally. You know, but that's a skill and that's like a lost art form. I mean, people can do it, but I get some people sometimes who will freestyle an entire song in the
Yeah.
studio. I'm like, oh fuck.
I've done it before, but it's when you're not doing it consistently, you're gonna it shows.
Yeah,
Because it's one of them things. It's just like working a muscle. You have to memorize the feeling of getting your brain to be active and alert and
Fire quickly.
yeah,
Fire on all
figuring like.
cylinders, fuck.
So it's I just think it's interesting because people, I think when I read the comments about the question, people have a misconception of what they think freestyle is. They think that the artists that they come across are freestyling when they're actually in fact doing writtens over different beats. And it's like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what your expectation is to what reality is has been changed.
Yeah, it's like crowd work. Like I know I spoke in saying it was lazy. I'm not saying crowd work is lazy. I was saying like to only do that and not round yourself is the lazy part. But
What about in comedy?
crowd work that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Comedy is one of those things. It's like
freestyling.
it's almost like because you're just off the cuff there.
Well, I'm saying, like, what are your takes like on, say, Dave Chappelle, like when he does crowd work? Because I've seen where you can tell when he's
There ain't shit you can say to Dave Chappelle. What the fuck you gonna tell somebody? Like
he could
that?
say, falafel. They be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this nigga said falafel. Like,
I think the coolest thing I saw was watching Louis C.K. try jokes out. Like he came into this club we were at, and like it was a comedy competition. And what he did, he just sat in the back. He's like, "I'm not going before you guys. That's fucked up. Like if I go up, they're not gonna watch you guys. That's just what's gonna happen. So I'll just wait till everyone's
that's a
done."
flex.
I was about to say that's a great. he actually was looking out for everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then he went up there and he pulled his phone out, and then he was just going through jokes, and like people were laughing at everything, and he was like, "That's not a real laugh." And then he was like, "All right, scrap that." And then he knew when he got a real laugh, he was
Yeah,
like, "All right,
he
I'll
could-
keep that. I'll keep that." And I was like, "Damn, this fool's like,
Really, about
he's
it.
very established, but he's
Yeah,
in
he
here
knew.
doing the, no, y'all lying."
To be that honest, though, to be able to take that like to
Yeah.
know, to decipher,
Yeah, to be able to decipher that is kind of crazy.
because you're doing this on the fly. Like, okay,
Well, you have to though. I think you have to know. Like it's maybe people don't. I feel like you can tell when it's a genuine laugh. I like those laughs. I'm a weirdo. Like I don't mind the room being quiet and just hearing one person go,
Shit, I think those are the most awkward laughs. I'm like, fuck, who the fuck is that guy that laughed at that
yeah,
shit?
but I'm like,
You're like,
oh,
yo,
that motherfucker knew exactly what I was saying.
He knew exactly what I was talking about.
Because I feel like sometimes when I write jokes or when I was actively writing jokes, there was jokes that people wouldn't understand until they got home and they were like, "Hey
Oh,
man,
dang, that hit me.
you are a son of a bitch."
as a comedian, I've seen you deal with certain things, but how often did you come across where the same jokes that you did in this room, they all hit, and then the other ones you literally get crickets because it was just depending on the audience you were in front of?
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. I've had that. I was just telling somebody that shit about I had an Abraham Lincoln joke. Worked all the time, white rooms like that. Some black rooms, but I did it in a
Mostly.
old black room. And they just looked at me, and I was like,
Might be a couple of y'all that want to kill me after this.
It did not work. What you girls doing? They're trying to be part of the show.
Moments.
Man.
Close the door. Close the door.
But yeah, it's I think it's dope to have this opportunity to have 3 artists talk and just chop it up, because it's like I'll call this episode Artsy Fartsy. I don't know what you're gonna.
Man, we'll call it something with art. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think it's dope to kind of like be able to pick the brains, and we literally just freestyled this for a whole hour.
Oh hell yeah, bro!
Freestyling this.
I was about to say, and this itself is just we kicking it. This was a freestyle. We just kicking it.
Yeah, so it's dope, and thank you, Sonny.
And man, thank you
for
guys.
being a writer and soldiering this out with us, because we had an unexpected change.
Has anybody checked on that situation? I was about to say, yeah. I don't know if we want to check, make sure she didn't pass out or something.
But
and respect to her too. She was a super dope guest as well.
Shout out to Des.
Desiree.
Get home safe.
Yeah, please get home safe.
But this has been the art episode. This is again episode 160 of the Heavyweight Podcast.
Yes,
I am your anti-social host, Stutter McFly, back with Sonny Babble.
Yo, what it do, man? Sonny Babble. Life is Sonny on all platforms, man, and Sonny Babble on all DSPs.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
Kevin, where are you going?
What was it? Hannibal Gap Teeth?
Hannibal Gap Teeth.
Hannibal Gap Teeth.
Like, subscribe, share, and comment. We love you guys. Next time, peace.
Peace.
It's a wrap. That's all she wrote, folks. Thanks for tuning in once again. You can check us out on all streaming platforms. Click like, subscribe, leave some comments. You know what I'm saying? Is it Monday yet? Hello. Every Monday you got new episodes, so tune in. Have a blessed one.